Basically, can I just repeat what I said? We were seeing about three concepts: impact, incidence, and shifting. Impact is the tax burden on whom it falls initially is called as impact of tax, right? When I say incidence of tax, the burden of tax when it is finally felt by whomever it is finally felt by, it is called as incidence of tax. And when the tax is shifted from one person to another, then we talk about shifting of tax, which means the burden is shifted from one person to another, right? Like we say, when it is the manufacturer, he shifts it on the wholesaler. When it is wholesaler, he shifts it from him to the retailer and so on. Correct? Class? So let me proceed now. We have two types of shifting. One is forward shifting, right? What is forward shifting? Any idea? Any idea? Class? Give it a try. Class, give it a try. What is forward shifting?
Ma'am, that manufacturer shifted the risks to tax to wholesaler and wholesaler to retailer, and ultimate the consumer had to
Correct.
pay.
Correct. Perfect. So, just give me. Where shifting is from manufacturer to wholesaler retailer, and so on, right? Class, this is called as forward shifting. Backward shifting क्या होता है? Backward shifting, when the burden of tax, backward shifting, where I'm just not writing this, from manufacturer to supplier of raw materials. जो प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं उसका टैक्स सप्लायर ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल्स के ऊपर जाता है, रिवर्स में. समझ में आ रहा है? Plus, like
Yes.
a retailer will shift it, all the intermediaries, they will keep passing it behind, right? Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am.
No,
No, ma'am.
this is what is called as backward shifting. Factors determining shifting and incidence of tax. Okay. A, nature of taxes. मतलब ये सारी जो process है ना, like बोझा जो भी है, incidence of tax if it is felt, and then shifting of taxes, all these things depend on what? Right? Nature of taxes. Like for example, if it is called as, if it is a direct tax, can direct tax be shifted? Can direct
No,
tax
ma'am.
be shifted? No shifting possible. Incidence is, incidence का मतलब क्या है? On the person on from whom the tax is levied. What is incidence?
The burden of tax which is shifted one person to another.
Burden of tax, right? Majorly. उसके बाद ही शिफ्टिंग का कंसेप्ट आता है ना। टैक्स का बोझा है ना जिसके ऊपर पड़ता है। समझ में आ रहा है क्लास?
Yes, ma'am.
एनी डाउट सो फार?
No, ma'am.
So now next is going to be elasticity of demand. Okay, what is elasticity of demand? What is elasticity of demand? Think about it. If the elasticity of demand for a product is very high, right? Elasticity of demand मतलब जैसे ही प्राइस बढ़ता है, राइट? प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड याद है आपको? जैसे प्राइस बढ़ता है वैसे ही प्रोडक्ट का डिमांड भी बढ़ेगा, बराबर क्लास?
Yes, ma'am.
सो प्रोडक्ट का, आई एम सॉरी, जैसे ही प्राइस बढ़ता है प्रोडक्ट का डिमांड कम होएगा, राइट? तो क्या होता है? इन केस आई एम सेइंग लाइक आई विल शिफ्ट द टैक्स आल्सो ऑन द कंज्यूमर्स। कंज्यूमर्स क्या करेंगे? डिमांड नहीं करेंगे प्रोडक्ट का, बराबर क्लास? आर यू फॉलोइंग? आर यू फॉलोइंग?
Yes, ma'am.
So what will happen here? Demand for the product will fall. Therefore, producers will be hesitant to shift the tax on the consumers. If the elasticity of demand is very low, then shifting of the incidence of tax will be lesser. Barabar? Right? Producers or will shift it, or producers will be reluctant to shift the tax on the consumers. Okay, understood? Understood anybody? Anybody
Yes.
has a doubt? किसी को doubt है?
No, ma'am.
Elasticity of supply. So what is elasticity of supply? We'll talk about price elasticity here. Class, for a highly elastic supply for a product, I'll write like this, product which is highly elastic to supply. Okay, मतलब क्या होगा? प्राइस बढ़ने से सप्लाई, क्लास भूल गए क्या? The burden of a tax will be more or higher on the consumers. Okay, for a product which is supply inelastic. Here we are relating everything to price. Okay, the burden of tax will be lesser on the consumers. Okay, are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is elasticity of supply or supply? Can somebody tell me? Market structure. थोड़ा एक एग्जाम्पल दो मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर का. मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर एक ही एग्जाम्पल दो. एक मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में बताओ.
Monopoly.
Very good. Perfect. See, a monopolist can shift the tax easily. बराबर? Can shift the tax easily. Okay. Whereas in a perfect competition, shifting of tax is difficult. ठीक है? E. Cost conditions. Class, are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
Now, if when if the cost is on the higher side, more specifically, I'm not using the word inflation here. More specifically, if the cost is rising for any product, right? Rising cost for in of cost of products may have lower incidence of taxes being shifted on the consumers. Whereas if the cost is not rising or if it is falling, right? I mean to say, if the cost is constant or falling, incidence of tax shifted is lower. ठीक है? Class? Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's take the next one as nature of the product. Nature of the product बोला तो necessities बोला तो easy to shift, right? Consume करना ही पड़ेगा. You can't avoid consuming. Necessities, okay? Easier to shift for tax. Necessity. Then I talk about time. If it is going to be luxury or say any other product of that kind, like, right? Shifting the incidence is difficult. Whatever people will say, I don't want the good. It is only a luxury, right? Non-essential, non-necessities. I'll say non-necessities. Seven. Next is going to be time period. Time period again is going to be short run. It is difficult. Correct? Shifting the incidence of tax on the ultimate consumers in the short run is difficult. Okay. In the long run is easy. Class, are you following? Class,
Yes, ma'am.
any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did we see today? Meaning of impact incidence, right? And then We spoke about how it is shifted. And then we spoke about, what else did we speak about? Forward shifting and backward shifting, and the factors that determine the shifting of incidence of taxes, right? Now I'll discuss canons of economy. Okay. Canons matlab, canons, see the spelling here, canons of taxation or tax was first given by Professor Adam Smith. Okay. Canons का मतलब है certain maxims या principles बोलते हैं ना वो. We've already seen some of them when we were discussing about tax, but we will see now more. समझ में आ रहा है class?
Yes, ma'am.
So उसके बाद, this was actually, we all had some modern tax canons also included in this, right? So canon of equity. Do you remember canon of equity? Class? Based on the ability to pay. Based on the ability to pay, an individual will be taxed. Okay. Any doubts? A tax should be such that it should be based on his ability to pay. Canon of certainty. Canon of certainty is going to be. Class, any doubts here? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
Any individual should know how much of tax he should be paying, right? Yeah, and he should be know and be certain about. Okay? Are you following? Any doubt? You should know how much you are going to pay and how much you should be paying, right? It cannot be arbitrary. कुछ भी अमाउंट आपके ऊपर ये टैक्स है करके डाला तो आप पे नहीं कर सकते हो, बराबर? क्लास? Understood? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we stop
Yes,
here
ma'am.
for the day? Continue tomorrow.